Have you ever thought about making a hunting video but you don't know where to start? Whether you don't have a camera or a computer or editing software? Well, in this video we're going to show you how you could do all that with just using your cell phone. So you really don't need camera gear because everybody and their dog nowadays carries a cell phone with the camera already attached to it. The cameras on the cell phones are so advanced than years past that there's no real excuse not to videotape and start producing content with them. So let's start with showing you a little features that the phone has just in the videoing capabilities. So the first step I'd like to tell you guys is make sure that your phone is in landscape mode. It makes editing and making the videos look so much better. For the sake of this video, we all have Samsung devices, so just to kind of explain, it might be a little different on the iPhones, but the concept's still the same. So first what you want to do is you want to go into your camera. You're going to be in photo mode, but what you want to do is you want to scroll all the way over to where it says more. Now here it's going to show you all the stuff you could pretty much do. You could use night mode, portrait, but I don't really use that. So there's night mode, there's slow motion, which that's pretty cool to use. There's hyperlapse, and then there's super slow-mo. But I usually just stick with the slow motion and the hyperlapse. I use a lot of hyperlapse more like when you're setting up camp, or say you're just walking through the woods and you just kind of want to show that you're kind of the time's going by fast. But mainly it's just when I'm setting up something like a camp or like getting water or something like that. The next is if you slide over to video, there's 3 buttons and they look like trees. They're on the right hand side. And what those do for you is it zooms in and it makes it so it's nice and crisp, so you're not having to pinch your screen, so it's a little bit easier. They look like trees. There's 1 tree, 2 tree, and 3 trees. If you push the 1 tree, it's going to zoom in super far. If you push the 2 trees, which is in the middle, it's going to zoom out halfway, and the 3 trees, it's going to zoom out all the way. I like to do these a few seconds apart if you are zooming in. That way it's not so glitchy. So like I'll wait a few seconds in between. This helps with if you're trying to track a deer or an animal moving through and you want to get a nicer zoom. You could kind of zoom in. It's nice and slow, get more of a crisp, clean zoom. Also, a feature that I like to use on the phone is when you're in selfie mode. There up in the top right corner, there's a circle with a dot in it. And if you push that, it's going to flip to the front of your camera.
Hey.
What's cool about that is if you're kind of vlog style filming, you could kind of be walking through the woods, talking, doing whatever you're trying to do, explaining whatever you're trying to explain. And then if you want to flip it around to what you're looking at, like say there's a deer and you're talking, you could hit that button and it'll flip it to the front camera. You can videotape, you hit it again, it'll flip it back to selfie mode. And there you go. It makes videoing a little bit easier, so you don't have to keep hitting stop record and record, and just kind of keeps everything in one lumped video or clip. Now with the phone you can only zoom in so far, so what I like to use is a little thing called a phone scope. Here's my assistant Austin here.
There's that for you, there's that there.
So what this device does, it's a phone scope, it attaches to your phone, and by using a spotting scope, you could also use your binos, but by using a spotting scope you could zoom in more. This helps out more with trying to get more wildlife video. If there's a deer or whatever animal that you're trying to get footage of is clear across a canyon or maybe a few hundred yards away, you could always pull out your spotting scope with your phone scope adapter. And what's neat about this is it's good for digiscoping. That's what it does. You just slip this over the eyepiece, you adjust. Now I like to kind of zoom in a little bit with it to kind of get rid of that ring that's around it. Now don't really worry about trying to get that ring to disappear while you're filming it, because in the editing process we could go over with you, we could show you, but the editing process you could always zoom in and get rid of the ring that way as well. But you could always focus, zoom, you could zoom in with the phone, but I like to kind of play around and kind of just tinker around with it. You get some pretty cool footage with this, and it's a pretty cool, neat tool to have in your pack, especially if you plan on filming hunts. Alrighty.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. So the next thing I want to kind of go over and discuss with you guys is B-roll footage. Now B-roll footage helps, at least for me, to help kind of tie in everything. It's just some footage that you could put in between your primary footage and to help kind of tie in all the rest of the shots that you've been taking and kind of help tell the story a little bit more. It also kind of helps the viewer kind of get more involved in what you're doing as well. I like to overlay it on top of the main footage or put it in between the footage to kind of help break up different scenes. And the B-roll that I really like to use is scenery footage, like walking through the woods, you know, sunrises, sunsets. If you're at a water point and you're filtering water, even a stream kind of going down the mountain, you could videotape that. You could also use wildlife as well. Just anything that could kind of help tie in the story. So for example, if you're doing a vlog type video, instead of just always seeing your face and just kind of like talk, it helps break up the video by using B-roll or A-roll, and it kind of helps tell the story a little better. The next thing I want to go over in this video is kind of some ideas for you guys to help produce some content. I like to do a lot of point of view type videos. So I start off with the camera facing my feet, and I'll be walking, and every now and then I'll kind of move the camera up, look around, and then go back down and continue walking. Shots like that help get the viewer feeling involved and makes them feel like it's a first person type VR feel. I like to try to get the viewers engulfed in the experience that I'm having as well, and to make them feel like they're joining on the adventure with me. Another shot that I like to do is I like to kind of move around them a little more. Now this is kind of difficult to do while you're hunting, so of course you're not going to do this while you're stalking or if you're trying to limit the movement. But if you're at camp or if you're at like the trailhead or nowhere that the animal's going to see you moving around so much. So for example, if I'm videotaping Austin cooking with the jet boil, I'm going to walk around him a little bit. I might zoom in or walk forward, might back out, might go up to the sky, and then end it there. Some other shots I like to do and kind of experiment with a lot more is getting more lower shots, or say for example if you're with a buddy, if they're about to like walk past you on the trail or whatever, turn around and get a good picture behind a bush or something, and then they kind of walk right into the frame and then exit the frame. Another cool feature to do on your phone to help out with a little bit of filming and also the editing process as well is the pause and unpause. Now for example, I'm going to film Austin here cooking with the jet boil again. I'm going to kind of film him messing around with it, getting it ready. I'm going to want to take a different angle, but I don't want to stop and make a new video. So I'm going to pause the camera, walk around into a different angle, and then hit the record button again. So you will get a nice crisp little transition from one point of view to the other point of view. So that's going to do it for part one of the DIY filming your hunts with just using your cell phone. Tune into part two, where we're going to go over how to cut and edit using a phone app on your cell phone device. If you have any questions, let us know down in the comment section. And for a chance to be featured on an upcoming video or episode on the Bushwhacker YouTube page, follow us on Instagram at Bushwhacker Mountain Co. Send us a DM and let us know you're interested, and you may be featured in an upcoming episode or video on our YouTube page. And until next time, guys, stay lethal.